let's talk about Clint Barton aka Hawkeye.
They can't bank with a dam. Find a tight corner.
The guy who took a bow and arrow to the superhero party where everyone else showed up with laser, hammers, and, the ability to literally summon lightning from the heavens. Now, you think a guy with the audacity to call himself a hero in a world full of gods, mutant, and walking tanks would at least have something that made you say whoa. But no, Clint's big claim to fame is that he can shoot an arrow into bullseye from like a billion miles away. That's cute, Clint, but when the bad guys are literally snapping their finger to erase half of the universe, does your bow really make a difference? Spoiler, it's actually not really. Today we're diving deep into why Hawkeye is probably the most unnecessary Avenger. Beside the fact that he's just a guy with a bow in a world of super soldier. But hey, let's dig deeper, shall we? Now, Clint's whole thing is that he is the down-to-earth guy among the Avengers, the one that doesn't need a suit that shoots laser or the ability to turn green and smash building to pieces. He's just a guy who spent a year learning how to shoot arrow really well. And okay, that's impressive if we're talking about the Olympics. In the MCU, not so much. Hawkeye's big sell is exceptional marksmanship, which sounds impressive until you realize literally anyone with a bow could do it. You're telling me Black Widow couldn't take out flying monster with 3 miles away? Nah man, she's good with a gun and attitude. His second big thing is human vulnerability, which is like saying I'm the only person who can survive supernova, look at me being relatable. Sure, he's a nice contrast to Thor godly muscle, but really, isn't he just filling the role of the guy who got thrown around by Loki for laugh? Oh, and don't forget Clint's grounded persona. His down-to-earth characters is supposed to make him relatable one. Like, oh hey, look at this guy struggling to balance family and saving the world. But when the other guy on the team is literal god, or Hulk who's one bad day away from flipping the entire city, your human struggle seems, well, a little underwhelming. So yeah, while we're over here relating to Clint's inability to do much, everyone else is out there throwing punches that could shatter planets. Kinda hard to keep up with that. Okay, here's the thing. Clint is like the spare tire of the Avenger team. He's useful in theory, but if the world in danger of imploding, is anyone really thinking we need that bow guy? Let's break this down. First, we've got combat versatility. Clint's thing is being sniper with a bow. Cool, but Black Widow also shoot things? Oh, and she does it with way more flair and probably less, hey, this is the one time I'm not in my living room with a snack energy? And speaking of weapons, Iron Man tech has more firepower than Clint's entire quiver, so yeah, that's redundant. But wait, Clint's got his human vulnerability, right? Yeah, Black Widow does too, except she's got a backstory that actually matters. The whole assassin with the dark past thing, it's like Clint just there for comic reliefs. Meanwhile, Natasha over there pulling emotional weight like she's auditioning for an Oscar. And here's the kicker, lack of superhuman attributes. I mean, come on. Captain America got super soldier serum coursing through his veins. Thor got the hammer and the beard that says, I'm definitely the coolest guy at the party. Clint? He got a bow. A bow. If Hawkeye were a sport, it would be the slowest sport on Earth. He'd be crushed under the weight of Hulk's eyebrow rise. Not even a fair fight. So yeah, not much in the quote-unquote raw power department. When the team needs someone to keep a pace, that doesn't make them look like they're missing high school track team's tryouts. Clint is your guy. Except, it's not really needed, is it? Now, let's talk about strategic value versus raw power, because this is where Clint's big moment of genius is supposed to happen. In theory, he's the guy who takes down key target with a well-placed arrow. But come on, if you're up against a Thanos level threat, do you really want the guy who needs perfect aim to take down the biggest bad guy? Thor's there to throwing lightning and making the universe shake, and Clint's over here like, yeah, I hit the bullseye once in a barn, let me handle this. It doesn't add up. Again, Clint is the reluctant followers. He's the guy who showed up, does his job, and never really takes charge. Sure, he might show up in the critical moments, but let's be real, his heroic moments are always overshadowed by someone else being more heroic. If leadership was a thing, Clint would be the guy who asking if someone else wants to take the lead instead of having his own baddest solo moment. Now, let's take a look at redundancy in abilities. Again, Clint's skill set is literally watered down version of what Natasha and tech-heavy heroes bring to the table. Need someone to strategically take down a target from a distance? You got Natasha for that. Need someone to break stuff with more than just arrow? Pretty much everyone else, including Hulk and Iron Man, can handle that. So, what Clint's really contributing. It starts to feel like his role is that guy who is always around but nobody remembers what he actually did. We get it, alright? Hawkeye is the normal guy in the group, but here's the problem: lack of personal growth. Tony Stark evolves, Cap learns to deal with the weight of being Captain America, and what does Clint do? He has a few I miss my family's moment, but that's about it. He's stuck in this loop of I'm the guy who wants to do the right thing but doesn't have power. Well, get in line, Clint. Everyone else is dealing with their own problems, and it just doesn't feel like your problems are relevant to the plot. And here's where it hurts: absence of unique narrative contribution. The quote-unquote everyman role sounds great until you realize it's a little too everyman. He just placeholder in a team that's supposed to be diverse and unique in every way. You're a regular dude with a bow, Clint. Congratulations, you're the unsung hero who actually just a footnote. Alright, some folks might defend Clint saying he's the human element of the Avenger, making them feel more relatable. But let's be honest, emotional depth through family ties doesn't work when it's barely tied into the grand plot. Clint got his wife and kids, but that doesn't add the gravitas that other characters like Tony Stark emotional arc bring. They are integral to the team emotional journey. Clint's personal stakes are cute, but they just don't move the needle when the fate of the world is at risk. He's not a hero who changed anything, he's more like an extra on the set of action movie. And finally, let's talk culture. Cultural expectations are high for superhero flicks, right? Every character should break some boundaries, do something interesting. Clint doesn't even try that. His existence on the team just feels like franchise obligation, like, well, we need someone who can shoot arrow for some reason, so let's keep him in. And that's where the missed narrative opportunities really sting. He could have been something meaningful, someone who was the last human standing in a superpower world. But no, we get a guy who can aim well. Good for you, Clint. And the cost of redundancy is not just a character issue, it's a narrative problem. Why waste screen time on a guy whose power could be swept out with 500 other characters? The audience feels it. You feel it. In the end, the case against Hawkeye being the most unnecessary Avenger stands pretty firm. He doesn't really bring much to the table that can be done by someone else. His lack of unique skill, underdeveloped character's arc, and redundant narrative function only solidify the fact that he's basically a filler character in a universe that demands more. He's the bow-wielding guy in a world full of people who can punch through mountains. And at the end of the day, when you're making a movie about the biggest superhero teams ever assembled, you better have more than just a guy who can hit a bullseye to keep people invested. The Avengers didn't need Clint Barton, they needed someone who can keep up with the big leagues.